An interesting question. Could yoga help you if you are weightlifting, if you are bodybuilding, if you are powerlifting, if you lift those heavy weights, if you love to feel that feeling of testosterone within yourself, if you love to explode, would yoga help you? Would doing some yoga postures help you? Most of the people who go to the gym, they would probably imagine yoga to be some kind of sissy workout, some kind of stretch here, stretch there, lift one arm there, lift, bend your knee somewhere. It's like, for girls, for women. I'm going as a yoga teacher. I teach yoga. As a yoga teacher, obviously I'm going to say it is not. It is not for sissies, You have to be a warrior to do yoga. It can be really challenging physically. Even if you bench press enormous quantities of weight, it doesn't mean that you can do most of yoga postures. Some of them are really hard. They need strength. You are probably not going to be able to do them. Not even speaking about balance and about flexibility aspects. I have been weightlifting about 8 years in total. You have seen some of my photos probably by now. So, yes, I have experience. I have my passion in weightlifting. I love the feeling. And I must say that yoga had helped me a lot. Yoga had helped me a lot as a bodybuilder, as a lifter. Why? One of the things would be yoga improves posture. Posture is very important. If you're going to the gym, if you're doing some kind of bodybuilding, you want to look better, you can have your biceps as big as you want to have, but if you don't have correct posture, you are never going to look good. First things may they come first, and first thing is posture. If you have a lot of muscle on your poor posture, you are going to be destroying your poor knees and your poor hips and your whole body. First off, align your posture, have a great posture. That is going to make you stronger too in your lifts as well. Right? That is the first thing. Posture. It is very important. Another thing is that if you have been weightlifting for quite some time, you will probably know that as years go by in weightlifting, your joints are starting to hurt. It starts most problems we have with shoulders, with knees, with hips. Then you may have your elbow pains and things. Yoga would definitely help here, and I'm speaking from my own experience as a yoga teacher. I teach yoga and I lift weights myself. Yoga is my work, and weightlifting is my passion, but both of them help each other. And with the practice of yoga, I have really improved the health of my joints. I had problems with my shoulders. I couldn't with mostly my front delts, the front part. Rotator cuff probably kind of things. Since I'm doing yoga, the last 3-4 years, I was seeing great improvement in the feeling of my shoulders, the mobility of my shoulders, the strength of my shoulders, and no more pain and no more. I wouldn't injure my shoulders as I would have in my past. Another very important thing for me, my knees. If you have watched my previous videos, you may remember that I was having really bad knees. I wouldn't be able to squat with no weights. I wouldn't when I would sit down into the chair and stand up, the moment of standing up or sitting down, my knees would hurt. And I would be thinking, what is going to be in 20 years if I feel pain, I feel bad when I have to sit down or stand up. If I cannot do a body squat with no weight, what is going to be in 20 years? And then I started doing yoga more intensely, and I started teaching yoga. Maybe 3 years ago, and I saw such an improvement in my knees that I started doing leg work in the gym, doing squats, doing leg extensions, doing all of the other things. I would never do legs in the past, because the times when I did it, even though I would try to not to overdo, just train just a very little bit, the next day and the next 2 weeks I would have my knees swollen, inflammation. And then after that I would go back to the gym and say, I need to strengthen my knees, I have to work on them, And I would again do, I don't know, like 30 body squats, just that, trying to go on improving the health of my knees, strength of them. And again the next day I would have this terrible inflammation, and it would go on and on. This was the reason I would never train legs. And and I started training them maybe 2 years ago, because with yoga practice I saw that I can do them. I don't feel pain anymore, I don't feel inflammation anymore. I started doing, and now I feel really good. My favorite day when I go to the gym is when I work legs. I love deadlift, I love squat. These are my favorite ones. It just makes me feel so good. All of the the hormones you feel, the strength you feel when you do it. It's a challenge. So if not yoga, man, I wouldn't be able to squat. In 2 weeks there is a competition, powerlifting competition in the gym, and I'm going to be competing again. And I know I'm going to be doing really good in deadlifts, maybe squats again. Thanks to yoga, man. Thanks to yoga. So I'm excited to make this video and to share my experience with you. Yoga had helped me a lot in the gym, and I'm sure it would help you. This video is already getting kind of long, but I still have something to say. If you just weight lift and you never stretch, you increase the tendency for an injury, right? Because if you constantly train your muscles, they become bigger, stronger, but they become shorter. For example, your pec becomes shorter, your shoulders start going forward. Bad posture. If you overwork your front part of the, pressing movements, no pulling movements, another subject. But if you stretch yourself, you are going to maintain your low risk injuries for you. And also, I really believe that stretching can help you in increase your muscle, make your muscle grow, because one of the things that limits your muscle growth, hypertrophy, is the fascia. Fascia is the kind of connective tissue that is around your muscle, and if your fascia is too tight, it limits your muscle. Your muscle cannot grow because your fascia doesn't permit it to grow. It is too tight, With stretches, if you stretch your muscles, you are able to stretch this fascia tissue, and this is where you give room for your muscles to grow, right? That's science, man. That is not something I have invented. So go and do some yoga. Go and find some yoga studio, do it, and if not, you can check out on the internet some postures, learn some stretches, and after training you can stretch yourself as well during the workouts, when you do during the sets of the same exercise, or after exercise that you do in the gym. You can do stretches for that muscle, instead of just wasting your time and speaking with your friends, or looking into the ceiling, or into those pictures of those photos you can see in every gym muscle people. You can do stretches, man, and you can be improving yourself during your sets. Maybe that inspires you. Much love. Go to train.